It is an anomaly that has baffled sociologists for decades. A scream cuts through a crowded apartment complex. A pedestrian collapses on a busy metropolitan sidewalk. A victim is openly harassed inside a packed subway car. In every instance, hundreds of eyes look directly at the crisis, yet nobody moves. Nobody calls for help. Nobody steps in. We love to look at these events from the comfort of our homes and blame modern society, claiming people have become cold, heartless, and completely apathetic. But behavioral science reveals a far more complex and terrifying truth. These individuals aren't monsters. They are victims of an automated social hijack known as the Bystander Effect. It proves that the likelihood of receiving help is inversely proportional to the number of people present. The larger the crowd, the lower the chance that a single individual will step forward to act. How does a crowd of human beings paralyze individual empathy? Today, we map the 10 distinct stages of the bystander effect to see how numbers create absolute public apathy. Stage 1. The event flash. The mechanism of public inaction initiates with Stage 1, the event flash. This is the exact split second an unexpected crisis breaks into the public square. A sudden loud crash, a person slipping to the ground, or a sharp, ambiguous cry for help. To your brain, this sudden flash disrupts the routine flow of reality. Your nervous system immediately registers a spike in attention. Your eyes track to the source of the anomaly. But because human beings are deeply social creatures, your brain does not evaluate the threat in isolation. Before your muscles can twitch toward action, your mind executes a silent scan of the surrounding human environment to determine what the collective reaction is. Stage 2. Ambiguity and the search for context. Once the flash occurs, the mind encounters Stage 2. Ambiguity. Most real-world emergencies do not arrive with a neat label. A cry in the street could be a violent assault, or it could be friends joking around. A person slumped on a bench could be suffering a cardiac arrest, or they could simply be sleeping off a long shift. Because the brain absolutely loathes public embarrassment, it refuses to act until it is 100% certain that an emergency is actually occurring. You enter a state of temporary cognitive freeze, desperately searching for further environmental context to confirm whether this situation truly requires disruptive intervention. Stage 3. Pluralistic ignorance. To resolve the ambiguity, your brain deploys a psychological mechanism known as pluralistic ignorance. This is the ultimate mirror trap of human behavior. You look around at the crowd to see how everyone else is reacting. You notice that everyone else is standing perfectly still, looking calm, and doing absolutely nothing. But here is the structural flaw. Everyone else is running the exact same software. They are doing nothing because they are looking at you to see how you are reacting. Because everyone is desperately trying to appear calm and collected in public, the entire crowd projects an illusion of total peace. Your brain looks at this collective calm and concludes, well, since nobody else is worried, this must not be a real emergency. The crisis is dismissed as background noise. Stage 4. The diffusion of responsibility. If the crisis is too graphic to be dismissed, if it is blindingly obvious that a human being is in severe danger, the crowd enters Stage 4, the diffusion of responsibility. When you are the sole witness to an emergency on an isolated trail, the psychological math is simple and absolute. If you don't help, nobody will. The responsibility rests 100% on your shoulders. But inside a crowd of 500 people, that responsibility is psychologically divided by 500. The individual mental burden shrinks to a tiny fraction. You look at the crisis and think, surely someone else has already called 911. The authorities are probably on their way, or there is definitely someone more qualified than me in this crowd who will handle it. The individual conscience is completely relieved of duty by the weight of numbers. Stage 5. Evaluation apprehension. Even if an individual feels the urge to break the spell and step forward, They are immediately hit by stage 5, evaluation apprehension. This is the profound evolutionary fear of public scrutiny. The human brain views social exile or public embarrassment as a threat to survival. As you consider stepping forward, your mind floods with anxious scenarios. What if I intervene and look stupid? What if the person gets mad at me? What if I mess up the CPR and make it worse? What if everyone looks at me and laughs? The fear of being judged by the silent crowd acts as a heavy psychological anchor, keeping your hands in your pockets and your feet firmly glued to the pavement. Stage 6. The costs of intervention calculation. With fear running high, the subconscious mind executes a rapid, cold cost-benefit analysis of intervention. Your brain weighs the personal cost of stepping in against the psychological cost of walking away. Intervention carries massive tangible costs: physical danger, legal liability, getting dirty, missing a critical work meeting, or entering a chaotic social conflict. Conversely, the cost of walking away inside a crowd feels remarkably low. Because you can blend back into the sea of people, your ego can easily shield itself from guilt. Your brain calculates that it is far safer and more economical for your life to remain an observer rather than a participant. Stage 7. Social mimicry and collective paralysis. Stage 7 is the cementing of collective paralysis through social mimicry. At this juncture, the crowd has reached a state of stable equilibrium. A silent consensus has been established. We do not act here. Human beings possess an intense instinct to mimic the body language and behavior of the dominant group. When an entire crowd stands completely immobile, that immobility acts as a powerful psychological force. It becomes a social rule. Breaking that rule requires an immense amount of individual cognitive energy. The group transforms into a single, massive monument of apathy, frozen in place by their mutual compliance. Stage 8. Attentional blinding. To escape the residual guilt of watching someone suffer, the individual's brain initiates attentional blinding. If you are forced to stare directly at a crisis without helping, your conscience experiences severe cognitive dissonance. To protect itself, the mind looks for a somatic escape route. Suddenly, bystanders become intensely interested in their smartphones. They fixate on a storefront window, cross the street, or look up at the sky. They aren't being intentionally cruel. Their brain is actively altering their sensory focus to block out the crisis, helping them ignore the uncomfortable reality occurring just 10 feet away. Stage 9. The icebreaker breakthrough. The spell of the bystander effect is incredibly strong, but it is also highly brittle. Stage 9 is the icebreaker breakthrough. If a single, brave individual in that crowd manages to conquer their fear, ignore the calm illusion, and sprint forward to help, the entire psychological architecture of the crowd collapses instantly. The moment one person acts, they shatter pluralistic ignorance and eliminate ambiguity. They provide a new, active model for the crowd to copy. Suddenly, the diffusion of responsibility reverses. 5 or 10 more people will immediately break their paralysis and run forward to assist. It takes only one individual to transform a frozen monument of public apathy into a highly functional rescue team. Stage 10. Retrospective rationalization. The final stage of the effect occurs after the crisis has concluded, entering retrospective rationalization. When the bystanders go home and the adrenaline clears, they must confront the uncomfortable memory of their own inaction. To protect their ego from the realization that they stood by and did nothing, the brain deploys heavy defense mechanisms. They tell themselves, the situation wasn't actually that bad. Someone else handled it anyway, or there was nothing I could have done. This rationalization patches up their self-image, but it leaves them highly vulnerable to falling into the exact same state of social paralysis the next time they step into a crowded public square.